Absolutely. I always say, do what you love, and then it doesn't even feel like work. Of course, it's always going to be a hustle, but it's fun when you love it and just make the mistakes. Like I've made so many mistakes. So that's cool. I've learned.
Hey lovely, Lisa here, and before we dive into today's episode of She Talks, I have got a little favour to ask you. If this podcast has ever made you feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more inspired, or a little less alone in this wild ride of running your own business, then I would love you to leave us a review on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you're listening. I know it sounds like a small thing, but it really helps get She Talks into the ears of more incredible women just like you, and it helps us keep bringing you the good stuff. And if there's an episode that made you go, oh my God, every woman in business needs to hear this, please share it with someone you love. Text it to your business bestie, add it to your stories, or drop the link in a group chat. However you do it, we are so grateful. All right, that's it from me. Let's jump in. In this episode of She Talks, I sit down with Kerryn Langer, founder of Arms of Eve, the effortlessly cool accessories brand taking over wardrobes and wish lists across Australia and the US. What began with a market stall has exploded into a multi-channel empire with 6 stores and counting, booming global sales, and a cult following. We dive into how Kerryn built an omni-channel machine, including the iconic, wholesale, and D2C, and why de-risking with a capital raise was the game-changing move that allowed her to scale with confidence. From team culture and therapy sessions to jewellery stacks and parenting hacks, this chat is equally honest, hilarious, and wildly insightful. If you're building something big and wondering how to grow without losing your sanity or your sparkle, then this one's for you. Kerryn, it is such a pleasure to welcome you to the podcast today, and I want to dive straight into the Arms of Eve story. Tell us how you started.
It's a big one. No. Okay. Actually, it started off the back. I was always in traditional fashion, and it started off the back of another business I was doing in LA, and that was a cut and sew knitwear, merino wool. And I basically was kind of done with sizing and clothing, and I was running all aspects of that business. And I cut up all the material into scarves and ponchos, and I accessorized them. I put tassels and pom-poms, and it was off the back of that where I realized, yes, it's one size fits all. I love accessories. I've always worn accessories. I could be accessible to women, more women than I was being with cut and sew knitwear. And so it was really through the back of that traditional fashion business that I got through, that I started accessories. And I brought all these scarves and ponchos back from LA to Australia, where everyone really understood merino wool and the benefits and all the great parts of merino wool that Americans had a tough time with. And I did an Etsy market, like 1 day Etsy market, and like sold out. And it was such an incredible experience to be with my customer, understanding what they loved and needed, being able to be accessible and have them try on and fit and feel a bit unique and different because it had like a bit of an edge to it, the pom-poms, the tassels. So it was through that where I was like, okay, this is truly for years, not seasons, which was my tagline of the last business. This is one size. This is a perfect way to kind of use all the material that I had and to still be within fashion, but also more connected to who I am, which was to accessorize. So yeah, it was born off the back of that
What
business.
I love so much about what Arms of Eve stands for, but I think for me, what I crush most about your growth, and I know a lot of other people must also crush this because you've grown very quickly, is that it's almost like you've disrupted a market where there was some low-end accessories that we still have in the market now that are just not for me. And then we had a lot of perhaps more conservative stuff at David Jones and Myers, also not for me. Or then you had to kind of go into a proper jewellery, like proper gold plated, and that wasn't allowing me to feel like I could boho up with beautiful jewelry. So I absolutely love that you've bought this, what I might consider to still be affordable, but just super trendy, cool, amazing jewelry to the market. And I love this growth. So talk about, if you can, you started at Etsy on an Etsy market and then you grew really quickly with a couple of levers. And I know the Iconic was one of those. So
Very
talk us
much.
through your first year or two in business.
Okay, well, the year into was like major hustle, major wearing millions of hats. It was really the weekend markets. I was doing Saturday markets in Bondi, Sunday Paddington, no, other way around. Anyway, I was at the markets, and it was at the markets where Iconic found us. And that was an amazing pivotal point because when they found us wanting bags and other categories, scarves and hats, it wasn't even the jewelry. That's when it really put us on the map in Australia because other people could find us and access us. And we were on a marketplace format with them. That was how we were selling and working with them, which we still do today, which was even better because it gave me the flexibility and freedom to also manage my product and inventory, but also to upload cheekily product that I thought was going to be successful and do well. So it was through Marketplace that we got known through the iconic. And then I was adding jewelry on the side until it became like our fastest growing category. So the markets we still kept doing with the iconic. And then we obviously living in the States, we were there for the whole like ecom boom, I would say. And I had kids there. So we were using Amazon and I mean, everything was being delivered like next day. So I also knew that online was something that we really wanted to develop and build the same way, particularly because I was in a wholesale market before. That was where the main bulk of that business was, which I found really tricky. So I think the combination between being at the market, building online on the side, and then having Iconic as a marketplace was just like the perfect combination to sort of build our brand and the trajectory of where we are today. Yeah. And then we went into retail, and then that was like, oh, yeah, sure, we'll get there.
Yeah, well, no, let's fast forward to today then, and we can work backwards through the pieces we need to pick up because I know our listeners will be fascinated by the story. And we're not talking about that many years, to be clear as well, for your
No.
huge growth. It's clearly met a market appetite. But now you have bricks and mortar stores as well. And when we met each other recently at an event, you were on the Gold Coast because you were opening your first Pacific Fair store. But I know you have one
Yes.
at Noosa and I think another one in Sydney. Talk us through where Arms of Eve sits now in terms of where the majority of your sales are globally, and I suppose marketplaces versus D2C versus bricks and mortar. Like, what does it look like for you?
We like the beautiful omni-channel story here. It is like a balance of it all. I mean, I think I would say, pulling numbers as of today, because we now have 6 stores, soon to be 9, 6 stores, it's almost equal to our one online channel. So whereas online used to be 80%, 90%, it is now 50% to 60%, which is still massive. It's like our greatest or biggest store, I always say. And then we have all these other touch points that kind of make up the rest of the percentage. So it's really, yeah. So retail's very important to us. It's kind of like bringing me back to the markets, being back with my customer. Even the way we sell at the markets is similar to how we sell in store. It's very, you can touch and feel, the product. Anyway, it's got a very similar feel. So I would say it's 50% online and remaining is like the stores. And then we have marketplace that makes up maybe wholesale marketplace, maybe 10%, 15%. It's, they are like smaller chunks, but I would say majority online and our retail stores combined.
And that's so interesting that in an economy right now where people are watching closely what's happening, you're going to expand into some more bricks and mortar stores. Are they all in Australia?
Yes, they're all in Australia. And there will be for now, I think, just slow, stable growth where we can still be close, close enough, not too far for, I think, Perth. We are moving into Perth. That would be the furthest for now. Yeah, they're all in Australia, but maybe a couple of
And
years' time, we'll
you
see.
have global sales coming in from other markets. What markets work for you?
Yes. The US has always worked for us really well, but that's been a bit tricky now with tariffs and online. We do sell through like Anthropology and other sort of channels in the US. The UK and Europe sells really well, but we use like similar to the iconic called Wolf and Badger, another marketplace platform. Yeah, it's a bit tricky with the tariffs and stuff. Like Canada used to be a great market, but you got to be very transparent and clear with your duties and taxes. And that sometimes could turn people off, So I prefer to use the marketplaces or their channels to sell through. So we focus mainly in Australia.
I love this.
Yeah.
So you are the poster child for omni-channel market in terms of a brand that has navigated and spread risk across multiple channels. And I want to also share with our listeners, if you're not familiar with Arms of Eve, that you guys did a capital raise. Was it last year? And I would love
Yes.
to know like what that looks like for you guys. And clearly venture capital and private equity look for investments that are, risk minimized and have a lot more opportunity for growth. And I'd love to know like what you think was the result in a company purchasing part of Arms of Eve.
I think all that. I think they could see the growth year on year, that we were diversified in category and diversified in platform. I think they backed us as founders. We're extremely passionate and focused, and just we were aligned as a partnership. Yeah, I think they backed. I mean, that obviously look at numbers for the past 5 years and where we were going, but I think the retail side really helped because we'd already had two proof points, or maybe three at that point, or maybe even was four. So they could see, the potential and opportunity if we just kept expanding in that way, there was going to be great growth, hopefully continually.
So let's break it down if we can with regards to the reasons that you guys pulled the trigger to say, yep, we're going to do a cap raise. And then secondly, like, what does it look like on a day-to-day basis now for you? Like, how much has it changed the way that you operate the business, if at all?
Okay, so the reason we did was to be completely honest, was to de-risk. It was very personal, and it was to de-risk my personal life. I think we'd be putting so much back into this business for years, and I just wanted to kind of give myself a little bit of personal stability and have that to the side. But also it was to keep growing with obviously money, but also with strategy and great partners that were aligned that could help us in an advisory way, in a supportive way. So they're an incredible alignment. They really let us on a day to day are not very involved and hands on. It's where we need and what we need. So we of course we have our board meetings, of course we have, but we in touch because we want to be. So we asking questions, not because they are leading the way and telling us how the business needs to be run. They really do trust us. And they just kind of guide, or I'll rather use them for all my finance or metrics on this store and this metric. What do we need to do? Like, I really use them as advisory, to be honest. I hope if that answers the question. But yeah, it was to de-risk
It
personally,
does. And
firstly.
and I love that, by the way, for transparency for female founders. For our listeners who are listening right now, it's difficult to know at what point we need to have cash flow support. Sometimes it's for, brands that are growing quickly that need stock support, but
Hmm.
de-risking and having a personal payout, because I face something similar at the moment here at SheCom and have the opportunity to have a cap raise for de-risking. And I have seriously considered it also. That thing as a founder where it's always on our backs, that reminder that if everything crashed tomorrow, we would lose our homes, right? That's a
Yes.
very real risk. And I wonder, like, surely for you and Aaron as well, it must have impacted the decisions that you make as you were in hypergrowth around, perhaps it makes us a little more fearful, or it makes us make decisions that are different to those we would make if we were de-risked and we knew we had a greater pot of cash and advisors, as you've pointed out. Like, how has it changed the way that you think and approach business growth?
I think you've nailed it. Exactly that. Like I felt we obviously had more cash flow, so I could actually take on more risk. Like instead of doing one store, two stores, I could do 3 to 4 stores. Still with calculated risk with good, I'm always very clear and safe on like how we grow, not to burn the team out, have great foundations for growth. But I think just to be more open to those, less fearful, more open, knowing that the decisions weren't just going to fall on Aaron and I, that we had a team that could support us and help us. I love collaborating. So just, you just got bigger brains, better people around us to support us. We were all aligned on the same trajectory, on the same growth. We all wanted the same thing. So yeah, I felt like a little bit just more supportive. And yeah, I took more risk, more creative risk, expanding to more categories. I could hire a little bit more, I could get some more key players in, although my team's always been amazing and has been with me for a long time. But yeah, just allowed us to expand in a less fearful way.
And let's talk about team then. Like, why do you think team might have been with you for a while? What do you think the key ingredients are to have an amazing team?
I think team is everything. Authenticity, honesty, great communication, growth mindset. I do not hire based on experience or skill. It's just the way it's a personality. You got to move quick, pivot, make mistakes, learn fast. It's just like a can-do attitude. We used to call them like when we hire like little Swiss Army knife, someone who could do multiple things, that wanted to do multiple things, that would be almost bored just to do one thing, that was open, that was engaged, that would collaborate, that would communicate, that we all sort of, we don't, there's no big hierarchy. We work together. It's all about small improvements all the time. We all embody that. It's all about done is better than perfect. We all embody, so, I mean, and the team are better than me. They make me look good. They yeah, I love it when it's like my children in a way. Like, I love it when they playing beautifully, when they all connecting. I mean, I feel very lucky to have a team because I guess also in the early days it was I was solo and then it was with Aaron and I. And so now I feel like super grateful to have more support, not just physically, but also just socially and on all aspects of the business.
Right. And I've just been delving into this, like even this in the last week, pondering upon this because the value sets that you've just shared, you and I have a lot of alignment with what we're doing at SheCom, similar team values. I would say one of the things I've literally been thinking about overnight is even that I feel everything you said is valid. And I've even summarized it as some people that work for companies are either givers or takers, if you made it super, super simple. And I'm always looking for
Mm,
givers. My team are all
yes.
they're always thinking about
Good
what else
point.
they could do or how we could up. They see the company as their company as opposed to thinking,
Yes.
what is the company giving me? Which I think is such a core. It isn't to take advantage of, it's to look for the right emotional attribute. But the bit that I've really been
I
pondering, and
love
I'd love
that.
your
Give
take
us.
on this, is that I feel like, so as a context, I started my first company, I don't know, 18 years ago or something, and I made all the mistakes in that one. And I had this feeling back then that my team couldn't be my friends because, there was just this, there had to be a line to do with not enmeshing them in the business finances or knowing too much about me personally or my marriage issues
Mm,
or all those things. And over the years, I've always maintained this idea that, my team and my team and my friends are separate. And then I looked around, I think it was actually for my birthday in October last year. And I realized at my birthday party, over half the people were there were actually my team. And I suddenly had this huge realization that my team were my friends. And
yeah.
more than that, they're my family now. And actually, I feel like I'm going to throw that enmeshment shit out the window because my team couldn't be more invested in my business and my marriage and my family's success. And they are my best friends. And we're literally talking about, shit, do we need to try and go to Italy for a girls' trip next year and write it off for business? Like, sorry, tax man, we're
Love
looking
it.
the other way right now. But my team are my best friends. And I'm actually really excited about this concept as opposed to threatened. And I would love to know. I feel like you just said some of the same trigger words there about like my people, my team are my people, right?
They are. I mean,
What do you think?
I feel the same as you. Like, I mean, listen, we worked my first, and they still the early team members, about 7 years ago, we worked from my house. So we were literally there was no boundaries. It was full enmeshment. We're in my home. We have kids, two kids. I had one bathroom. I had eventually 10 girls all in there. I was doing washing and cooking and emails and gluing and pick packing. So, I mean, there were from the early days, that was like we had to move into office just to like create boundaries. And that was also because my husband was like, "Dude, I'm not cool sharing anymore. One bathroom with like the amount of toilet paper we were buying, the amount of, yes, we needed to separate a little, but I had a hard time. I actually loved working from my house. I loved because I felt like I could do everything. I could do the washing, I could make dinners, I could be at work. My team was always there. It was amazing. But no, I'm very grateful we moved. So I feel like this enmeshment was there from the start just because of early startup days. I do think boundaries are important, especially because we're a husband and wife team and we work together. So we naturally do have, Aaron and I have boundaries within the team. We're not going to start like, but we're super open. I don't know what I feel about it. I feel like I am what I am. It is what it is. If you're going to work with us, you're going to get it. I love my team like they are mine. I want them to take a holiday because they need it. I want them to take like even if you're not telling me everything I know, I feel it, I get it, I can sense it. I think I struggle. I clearly struggle. I have no boundaries in general, but I try to have some. And working in the office was a good one. We moved out of the home. But yeah, I think it's just accepting like it could be a little bit of it all. Like, I don't even know. I don't
But I
know.
think that might
I
be your
feel you.
magic. And I think that's the thing we have to be careful about is that we can't dilute our magic. We can't ever not be the incredible women we are, which is really open and vulnerable and you get what you see. And I
Yeah.
find as well, team would follow me anywhere. And it's because we're building something that we have like a joint passion and
Yes.
buy-in for. But I spoil them and we do amazing stuff. But then I tell them that I've got hemorrhoids this week. Like there are no boundaries. Like why would we
Totally.
not share like the girls talk together, right?
Absolutely. And also, and if they
Never
didn't
ask
follow
how
me,
are you, Lisa, unless you're prepared to get the
to
real
hear it.
answer.
100%. You are. So I'm going to tell you. But also, I think equally not to be emotional or personally offended if they didn't follow me. Like there's been times that my teams come back and forth and tried other things because they were young and they were students and they were studying and they just fell into this and then working with me. And then I'm like, no, go work in PR, whatever you need to do. I think it's important to have the experience in event. You can always come back if you want to. So, and not to take that personally when people do leave you or move on or things change either, and just to trust the connection and the relationship and what you offer, what it is like. And like, so it's also if you love everyone, you can also let them be, let them free and not take it personally. So, and not get too offended either way, I'm
Right,
also
because we're
like,
not for
cool.
everybody.
No, I'm not for everybody. I get it. I'm hectic. I'm intense. Yeah, like you, I don't know. You can feel it. My arms fly all the way, all the time. I
Yeah.
thought about.
And tell me, what have you learnt working alongside Aaron building the business? Like I know it can be too difficult to navigate business with your life partner as well.
Yes. No, we work really well together for the most part. We have also some great therapists, some great sessions too. We're always working at all aspects of the business, including our marriage as a business. But we learn we're very different. We are completely yin yang personalities. He is extremely grounded, Virgo energy, detailed, systematic. I am clearly not. I am clearly big picture, a million miles an hour. You finish my sentence. I don't even say the right words, but you can get where I'm going, So he has taught me to slow down and to communicate clearly and to punctuate those emails and to be more detailed. I've taught him to done is better than perfect. Let's keep moving. Let's keep experimenting and trying. And I think we learn to communicate. We just kind of, as we do in our marriage, as we do in our business, I think we're just kind of constantly leaving each other to what we're best at as well and trusting each other. I mean, it actually works very well because we're also very aligned on the same goal. So I mean, our kids are it's a lifestyle, this business. Our kids come to China with us, to trips with us, in the factories. I don't know, we've made it work in a fun way, I think. So,
I feel like, though, what you've described is something that a lot of creative, powerful, type A, high achieving women need in their life. My husband is a house husband, which he's very proud to own, but he
great.
also is my grounded anchor. He actually, I'll share this with you and the listeners because I think this is probably what Aaron is to you as well. But my husband describes himself as my sea anchor, and he's an
Mm.
ex-military man in the
Oh,
Navy.
wow.
And if a ship is going really fast, then and it needs to slow down quickly, it puts a balloon in the water out the back. It's called a sea anchor. It's essentially like a reverse balloon, if you like, underwater that gives it instant slow down pace. And I have this vision in my head of you and I quite similarly as this like balloon bouncing in the wind. It's a butterfly or a balloon and it's hectic
Yeah,
and loud and it moves quickly and it gets halfway through a sentence and it pivots the other way. And that's
exactly.
a superpower. But equally, we need to be anchored to the ground by somebody who can hold us super like, okay, my husband come home in the afternoon or in the evening and he can see I'm fried and he's like, there's a cup of tea, hop into bed. Dinner will be ready in half an hour. I just need you to like have a
Oh
bit of
my
quiet
God,
time before
you
you
are
like
winning.
recalibrate to the family, right? Oh, well,
No, no,
well,
no, no,
but
no,
you
no,
have that
Lisa,
in a
Lisa.
husband in business,
No, no,
right?
no, wait. No, 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 no. Let's be fair. We are not getting dinners and teas in bed. You are winning. No, but yes, the same. This is amazing. Do not change a thing. Yeah, no, we don't have that part. We like, again, we work and we get home. Who's doing dinner? Who's doing the dishwasher? We still, because we equally managing all aspects. It's crazy, actually, now that I think about it, talk about it. So, I think you've got a winning formula there. Yes, he does slow me down and anchor me and keeps me accountable and keeps me grounded. That's for sure. But
I
then,
feel like it's a winning formula though. And the
sorry.
listeners, if you can relate to being a little bit like Kerryn and Lisa right now, and I know a lot of you can, I suppose the thing to learn from this conversation is that you might not be married to your sea anchor, but you need a sea anchor in the business, somebody else who can
Absolutely.
be that counterbalance, who can execute. So I have a number of team around
I was
me
going to
in the
say,
C-suite even who are the opposite of me, right? They're calm and
my
grounded and
entire team
methodical
is the
and
opposite.
I'll hand ideas.
No,
Yes,
least exact.
exactly.
I walk into
Actually,
the office and they're all like focused. I'm like, no way. I mean, I don't even have a laptop. So yes, that's a very good point. My team are very grounded. Sorry to
It's
interrupt.
something I learned a really long time ago in business, actually, Kerryn. I suspect you're making similar business employment decisions as me. But I remember in my first company I had, I kept hiring people just like me because we would sit in an interview and I would be like, "Buh, buh, 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 buh," and I'd be like, yes, yes, I like you. You're hired. And then I would realize 6 months later that they were literally copying me and the things that I would do every day. And then all this stuff would be left undone. And I long ago realized never hire anyone like me. Hire the people that are nothing like me because they're going to do the bits I hate at work and not the bits that I'm
Yes.
really good at. And I learned that a long time ago.
So funny. So true. Well, I also, if it's that energy, I'm like, no, no, retail. You for retail, not for pick and pack, not detail, not for head office. Like, there's different personalities for different things. But yeah, it's perfect. I relate in so many things you're saying.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit now wholesale growth. I want to chuck this out here because I noticed
Mm.
that as part of the team's pre-prep for us, I get a lot of links to places that Arms of Eve have been mentioned. And there was a case study on a company called Jewar, GOOR.com.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm wondering, they are referencing that they've helped you find a bunch of new wholesalers overseas. And I know a lot of our listeners are always looking for channels to distribute. So I want to switch over to a different topic now around wholesale. A lot of our listeners and women who are building product brands, D2C product brands, really struggle with how to navigate getting new stockists in other countries in particular. What's some of the stuff that you've learnt with Arms of Eve about growing into other countries and even in Australia around wholesale wins that you've had?
I mean, this business, Arms and Eve, is a lot more direct to consumer and online and less wholesale. However, I do relate to the model very much so in the US, where it was almost 100% wholesale. But either way, it still applies and we still use it here, is to find the right showrooms. And I think in the US, that was really process. But here you have some great showrooms. And if they align and you align, I think that's a great way because they know where the stores are and the right fit and the right alignment and the right kind of curation for the product or the brand, whatever you're starting. So I would find a showroom that aligns. I think wholesale in general is tricky to navigate because of terms and cash flow. And so, on the advice on that side of things, it's also good to have the showrooms because they will give you that communication on how that brand operates in the terms and their history to understand. I mean, in the US, we were doing checks, they were bouncing. I had burnt orange millions of tops and dresses that I didn't know what to do with and sell because, I was one person making up names to collect money. And, so I think that wholesale's a tricky business because you're cutting and sewing or you're producing before you're getting the money in and then you have to ship. So you're left with stock and that's the nightmare. But we now work on a very much COD. We also, because we have so many of our own channels, we're producing anyway. So it's very natural and very easy for us right now. So if you want it, you buy it. You can buy small. We have no real minimums. I'm more flexible. I was never someone really into consignment, to be honest, because I was burnt. I had my own experiences. I've now, I've got a little bit more boundaries around that. So I think if I've answered it, I would say to find the right showrooms to kind of advise you and help you and to get the right terms around that so you protect it in terms of your cash flow. And if you are going to negotiate terms, test the store a little bit before and have that relationship before you move into that, just to protect yourself.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the downside to wholesale is that you've got much more reduced margins as opposed to focusing on
Exactly.
D2C because then there are
Exactly.
percent margin to yourself. So
Exactly.
it's an acquisition channel, though. It's a new market channel. It's something for women to consider. Have Arms of Eve done any trade expos in the US or Australia to look for stockists through appearing in a bricks and mortar sense?
No, we haven't, but I did do it in the US when I was in the previous business. I was doing the Javits Center, or Coterie, I think it was called, or Magic. Oh my God. That is super overwhelming. Um, but also an amazing way to meet buyers and potential partners that are long term. But I think it's great. I think they're expensive, and I think you should also do your research and go and visit before you decide to show in one of those platforms. But there's also some great online ones, like Marketplace is great. I think Marketplace, I'm a big fan before, and you can kind of see where you're shipping and where those markets are, like the US was strong or the UK is strong, like Wolf and Badger. They're amazing to test for international buying.
They found me at some point and now they hassle me on Facebook ads. And every time they show me an ad, they show me something I want to buy. So it's really
No,
annoying.
So great phone to pick with them. They'll love you. They'll love to
It
chat.
is a great bone to pick. I would
Yeah.
love to know if we talk about D2C founders now over to the e-commerce experience.
Mm,
Obviously, the great thing about your brand is you are in different channels, but let's talk specifically about your own website, your biggest store, as you call it. What are you noticing about buying behavior at the moment? And what's your relationship with, say, lifetime value? Like, how are you working on making sure
loyalty.
people like me keep coming back all the time?
Oh, I want my team to answer this. I think, so basically we're in the middle of redoing our website, which has been a massive, massive process and project. And I'm excited, really excited for that. And with that, we are building a loyalty program, which I've been wanting to do for so long. And it's so important because I am so grateful for my customers. And I don't even know how to, so a really great way to be grateful is to give them like more insight, more to give them more for being so loyal and to show that gratitude. So I think with Klaviyo and all your CRMs and all, those kind of flows, there's ways to really support your loyal customers. But the behavior, you asking the behavior has like what's it like now for online? I mean, it's always be like for us, it is so truly omnichannel. It's very difficult to find what's going on because you're either going into the store, like let's say in Noosa, and then you're going back to Melbourne and you're shopping online. So we really are working, or you're seeing an ad and then you're seeing a store. So it's really a really great combination of what's going on for us. It's really, one, you go into the store, then you trust the brand. We have a store, then there's a greater trust, and there's a way to touch and feel, and you can actually see the size, and you're being supported and helped, hopefully with a great customer service experience. Hopefully online, we just want to make a good user experience so it's easy to navigate. And we are developing things online which make it a better experience. So for me, it's all about how can I give a better experience to my customer? How can I be more grateful and thankful? How can they move through the website with more ease and filters and trying to find what they're looking for, or if they have found something, to try help stack and style them, what it goes with to help, because it's so overwhelming. I think when we all find it shopping, or especially jewelry, is overwhelming. We have over 1,000 SKUs. So if you're going to buy this, what does that go back with? And how can you stack and style? And what can you, it's called shop the look, and we do a lot of bundles and stacking and saving, like things that work well together to show the customer what goes well together as options if they want. And then we also offer a discounted price for those sort of customers. So this new website build will hopefully really help the customer navigate more smoothly through our website in supporting them in what they're looking for, quick, in speed as well, but also if they want to be more creative, we have Charm Builder that helps you kind of build your own story and your own look, and ways to help style.
What if investing in your business came with a guaranteed return? Growing an e-commerce brand can feel like guesswork, but it doesn't have to be. Here at SheCom Academy, we take the uncertainty out of building a business with expert coaching, a proven roadmap, and 24/7 support from women who've done it before. And we don't just promise results, we guarantee them. You'll see a 3 times return on your investment in Academy within 12 months, or we'll keep working with you for free until you do. No risk or reward. Want to know if Academy is right for you? Book a quick wins call with our team and let's find your next right move together. Head to shecom.co to book your quick wins call now. I love that. And we just have been talking about bundles here as a team just this week, and how valuable it is for the buyer that is overwhelmed and or is happy for somebody else to just make suggestions or put together something, and it's easy for them to just say yes. And if you're an online retailer and you don't easily make bundles available, then please go and action that today, because the more opportunities you give people to just say, I like that, I really like that. Oh shit, it's a bundle. Yes, it's just a 1-click, 2-click checkout, bang, bang, done.
Yes.
Right. So much easier,
I mean,
and it's such an enhanced experience.
absolutely. I mean, my background's also in styling. So I used to style clients, who I used to go through the wardrobe, get rid of stuff, and then go shopping. I know how challenging women find shopping and what goes back with what. So if you can make that easier, and also on a business perspective, your AOV, it like totally helps your average, you know what I mean? Like it all works well together. They're going to find a look that suits them and works. They don't have to kind of think too hard about it. And it's also in a business sense, it's very, financially viable.
You know what I love about your brand? One of the things I love most about it is your opportunity to keep selling more products to the same buyer. So many of the people who might be
Mm,
listening today may have one or two hero products and don't have the SKU variety that you have. And the cost to acquire a customer, we know it's become really expensive these
yeah.
days. And your opportunity to have a pool of customers in a non-linear journey where, I've been to your Noosa store. I will no doubt go to your Pack Fair store, but I've purchased on your website as well. There's like an absolutely non-linear omni-channel marketing exercise in its perfect form. And I do the same with Baird Footwear and Kavari. I go between their online and their store, and their email marketing gets me every time. And then I might even go
Yes.
in store to try it on. But your
Great.
opportunity is even greater than theirs because their average price of a SKU is like, say, $300. You have
Yes.
a lot more opportunity to keep me buying from you because it might just be lower hit pieces that I can go and keep stacking and buying for myself and for my team
Absolutely.
and for my
It's
daughter.
gifting.
What a
Exactly.
golden opportunity.
I mean, our brand is massively gifting, because of its price point. And it's also, you come into gift, but you love something for yourself. So you buy yourself, then you gift for your daughter, or you with your mother. Like, it is a multi-generational brand. And I really try, I've always wanted to be something for everyone. And it's advice you shouldn't give any business is try be everything to everyone. It's terrible. You always learn narrow and deep and be specific. But this is why this business suits me so much, because I don't have to be. There is something for everyone. There's a dainty girl, there's a chunky girl, there's a mature, more of a statement, mature piece. There's a bit of a young, more fun piece. There's a bit more edgy. Like, you could, it's so much fun. And it's really how you stack and style that. And then it also gives the consumer a way to kind of express themselves where it's going to last you longer than your top you just bought. You know what I mean? And we have great warranties and everyday waterproof and sweat proof, and you can swim in it. And, so like, I love what we do because it is such a great price point for the quality, and that we can keep adding categories like belts, like our sunglasses do really well, and they're all beautiful polarized acetate. Our hats are very successful in summer. So then it becomes a full lifestyle, like a whole look and feel, not just jewelry, but all within the accessory category, although clothes are doing quite well. But, so it's a bit of a one-stop shop, which I love, which I'm, grateful for.
And where do you think the SKU variety might end up rolling into? Like, what categories are you eyeing off for the future?
Oh my gosh, before my board meeting, I should say this out now. I mean, this candles, I love. I know because I can go in, you can see a million directions, but we'll keep it all on
Any
body for
direction.
now, any and all. So I'm going to keep it, yeah. So it's all within, potentially swim should be coming soon. Like within, we do a great resort wear, and we've just done a great lounge wear set that's doing very well. Just sold out again, which I was very nervous to do. So I'm grateful that worked. So definitely clothing, and then candles, and then we'll see, maybe homewares. I don't know. We'll see, because I think our sweet spot is the size of our retail spaces, which is about 50 to 80 square meters. So I think, and we've got warehousing, and I'm very realistic as much as I can go all over, although I'm actually extremely commercial, and I actually love the business side of the business as well as creating. So I think it's a good balance between to keep me
Yeah,
kind of
that's a
grounded.
great
I can
balance
keep
because
myself grounded. Yeah. Yeah.
the creator that doesn't have the business skill is the one that doesn't survive because they get excited about things that don't make commercial sense. So the commercial interest and understanding is so important to go alongside the
Yes.
creativity, in my opinion.
Yes. Well, you got to understand, okay, how,
Let's just
warehousing.
let's jump over to self-care for a minute. I would love to know, in amongst being a mom and a wife and a businesswoman and a creator and an empire builder, how does Kerryn look after herself and maintain this? Listeners, she's hot. How do you look this hot and have a big
No.
smile on your face and beautiful in
Yeah,
amongst
this
this
is
empire
so
building, Kerryn?
sweet.
What is your secret?
Oh my God. I don't know. Thank you. So lovely. I appreciate that. Was very complimentary. I don't even know. I think I love people. I love being social. I like a good drink. A little Negroni always goes a long way. I like ocean. I love this. I love swimming. So I can have a quick dip, feel amazing. Walking, swimming, people, getting my hair blow dried, nails done. Little things just make me feel like, okay, I think I kind of nailed it. I think I enjoy being with people or the ocean, nature, and then a
The
drink.
nice counterbalance of both filling your cup. Yeah. And what
Yeah.
about being a mom? How do you find navigating being a mom and building an empire? What tips have you got for that?
I integrate them into the business. No, I think I love travel and my kids love travel. So I think our shared love of traveling together, I really try travel with my kids. And that's also where I'm more present and I'm slower possibly, but also we're all in the same movement and all in the same motion. So I really enjoy spending time with my kids in that way. And even if we are, if it is, there's an aspect of work in there, I think they really love it because we're all together, we're all connecting, we're eating, we're meeting, we're sharing, we're having fun together. So that's like how I balance out my work intensity. But I think they're pretty understanding. They've become more flexible and resilient and independent. They've been on the journey since we were two. They would come visit me at the markets and have their gozlami and watch me and sit with me and navigate it with me. I feel like they're really kind of a bit part of it and very respectful and understanding. It's definitely a balance and it's definitely tricky. And there are times that I'm not there for swim carnivals or things where I'm in India or wherever I'm at. So I do miss aspects of their little things in the year, but the big milestones I'm always there for. And because it is my own business and I have such an amazing team, I do have that flexibility to be more present with them. That's the
And
balance.
I think leading by example for our children of finding our passions and living our best life. Like I feel like that's such a great opportunity to show our kids, that they also should have that aspiration to find something that lights them up.
Absolutely. I always say, do what you love, and then it doesn't even feel like work. Of course, it's always going to be a hustle, but it's fun when you love it and just make the mistakes. Like I've made so many mistakes. So that's cool. I've learned. If I didn't make them, I wouldn't have learned, not take it too seriously, not get too emotional about them, kind of just use them to help you grow and understand yourself a little bit more. I don't know, they're not really listening. They're 12 and
Yeah.
14, but we'll see where that goes.
I know that
It's
my
a
14-year-old,
journey.
she probably would never listen to a podcast. It's not interesting enough.
No, they hear it. I'm
So
like,
I
they
can
hear
talk about her.
it. Yeah, they no, my kids are definitely not listening to this.
Um,
So.
Kerryn, I always finish my podcast with 5 fast questions. It's a snap answer from you, and I would love to ask you, what is one word that you might use to describe you that might surprise our listeners?
Oh my gosh, Lise. I'm not snap. I mean, I'm not someone who has a one word. I think I'm so open. I think anyone would know it. Like, I mean, I'm intense. You would feel that. I'm a slow driver. I don't know. There's not a one word. I think I don't know
Slow
what it
driver.
is.
There you go.
I'm
That's
such a
2
slow
words. I'm going to
driver.
go.
Okay,
Let's
two words.
go with
That's why I
that.
said it's 2 words. I can't even one word is impossible for me. Look at me. Okay,
That is a
sorry. I'll be
surprise.
better.
You have surprised me.
Slow
I would have
driver.
taken you for a Speedy Gonzales. There we go.
100%. That's a personality
What's one,
curveball. Yeah.
what's one word you would use to describe running a business?
Hectic, but great. Oh,
Yeah.
intense. Yeah.
What's the first thing you do when you feel stuck?
Swim, ocean dip.
So good.
Yeah.
What's a brand you're obsessed with right now?
Wouldn't say one brand, but I'm very into this Korean skincare at the moment after coming back from Japan and all the Japanese and Korean skincare. So there's multiple brands I'm obsessing and having fun with right now.
Me too. Chuck some names at me, girlfriend. What are you into?
Oh my God, I have to get my like photographs that I've snapped. Like maybe it's called Anua or Cosmic. I'm going to send it to you. I'll send you my, I don't even know the names because they're all,
Love
I
it.
don't know. I'm just trying them. I see them or I was in Japan. They tried it, felt amazing. What a serum, amazing. Done, bought it. But it actually feels
So
amazing.
good.
I'm really
Actually,
enjoying it. Yeah.
my teenager randomly is really wanting to go to Korea at the moment for a trip. I think it's for 2 things,
Excellent.
skincare and facials, yes, but
Amazing.
also all the convenience stores that have all kinds of, I
It's
don't know,
amazing.
the convenience stores apparently are amazing.
So we just got back from
But we're
Japan.
not going to.
No, you're not. But Japan's great. I haven't been to Korea yet. That will be next on the list. But they also sell the most amazing Korean skincare in Japan. But the 7-Eleven, the Lawson, the Family Mart, I mean, every day it was, no, I give you my top 10 there. I mean, yes, you just let me know before you go because it was a
Done.
good fam. Yeah,
Done.
it was amazing. It's great to go with teenagers, actually. You feel like the teenager.
Yes.
I was having, yeah, as much fun.
Yeah. And how might you describe your biggest business lesson in one sentence?
Biggest, I mean, I just say my biggest business mantra would be like kaizen, like small improvements all the time. Yeah, just make mistakes, pivot, get back up, keep going, and just keep improving, keep progressing. I'd say done is better than perfect. That's what I literally say every day. Done is better than perfect. Just to kind of console my perfectionist self, like done is better than perfect, done it, let's just keep doing it, keep moving it, progressing it, and then we'll get better at it as soon as we do it. Much like this
I
podcast.
love
Just do it. We'll
yeah,
work it out.
exactly
I'll
like this
get better
podcast.
at this.
Mine is massive imperfect action. I think we've got a lot of
What's yours?
similar ethos here. Massive imperfect action. Just do it.
Massive imperfect. Yeah, it was the same thing, just you said it better. I love it. I want to ask you the 5 questions. What's your personality? I was going to say curveball, whatever that question you asked me. What's your one word that no one would know about
That would
you?
surprise people.
Yes.
That I'm the biggest softie. Like I feel
Ah,
everything. Total empath.
wow. I can feel that,
Perhaps
but I
isn't
think we're
always
all
obvious.
soft. No, but I think I actually relate to that too, because everyone thinks I'm less sensitive because I move so fast and I'm so intense. But I think everybody,
Right.
like, yes, I relate to that too. I'm very sensitive and very
Yes.
empathic, even though I seem hardcore and like intense. It doesn't mean you're not sensitive. Love that. Yes.
Right. I
I'm gonna
think we have
take
to have a
yours.
Negroni soon, girlfriend.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
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 After next time I'm in the Gold Coast.
If you loved this episode today, whether you're on Apple or Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button so you get notified when our next episode of She Talks drops. Kerryn, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. I look forward to a hug and Negroni soon.
Me too. Thanks so much for having me. I love chatting with you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of She Talks. I hope today's conversation sparked ideas, gave you strategies you can put into action, and reminded you that you're never alone on this journey. If you loved this episode, head over to shecom.co for today's show notes, exclusive freebies, and special offers from our sponsors. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss a future episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and most importantly, keep talking.